Monday. Enjoy your weekend. You know, it's March Madness. The last weekend, I know a lot of people were watching the game, and also spring break for the college students. So, I hope everybody enjoyed the weekend. Guys, if you have not done so already, please make sure you hit the like button. If you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have not done so already, please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock, and Eastern time. So, like always, thank you for tuning in to Cal Coach Radio. Hey, Jordan, Hakeem, man, how you guys feeling, man? How y'all doing today? What's happening?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm blessed.
Hey man, I'm good, man. Another beautiful day. Hey man, I'm just happy to see y'all. Happy to do another episode. It's exciting, y'all. I'm excited.
All
Likewise.
right, go ahead, Jordan. Like always, go ahead and do your thing.
All right, all right. What's going on, people? What's going on? Y'all see what's on the title here? This conversation, it's going to be focus on the man here of relationships, men with relationship, how we struggle with communication in relationships. We found it like, especially in 2020, 2023, of, men that are raised, maybe with, single parents and everything, and they're really not taught to how to communicate in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's, I think it's like, me, Ronnie, Hakeem, and how, we can, definitely talk about this, and, give, our side of a story of relationship we have in the past, how we can, work on it and be the best version of ourselves as men here. So, Hakeem's going to play, a couple videos, about, how men struggle with communication. And after that, we're gonna chop it up right up. So go ahead, Hakeem. You can go ahead and play videos. Chop it right up.
Let's get it. It doesn't matter which one.
No, it doesn't matter. You play the other. The first one I sent you, didn't play the second.
Oh, you got one with TD Jake and another one with Kevin Gates.
Yeah, you can play the TD Jakes one first.
That you got it together, and you dare not admit to anybody. When life spins recklessly out of control, and all you can do is hold on to the perception that you got it together, and you dare not admit to anybody, and certainly not to your wife, that things are out of control for you. And especially when there are things that you cannot describe or explain, because if you admit that you're having problems with things that you can't describe or explain, you're going to start sounding like her. God forbid that you sound like her, because you know how she is. What are you crying about? I don't know. Why are you feeling? I don't know how I feel. It's when just stop asking me. I just know. And I mean, we are rational. We are men. We are rational. We are thinkers. Give us concrete facts and we can deal with stability. Don't give me all of this emotional crap. I need some stuff I can sink my teeth into. Well, what happens when rationale doesn't...
A lot of men don't have these conversations. They suffer in silence, especially being a provider, because you taught that you gotta do this. And I meet so many men in the gym that are depressed, and they tell me, man, Kevin, what did you do? I tell them I started learning to love the stranger that was once myself.
Wait a minute, we lost him. Hold on.
My bad. My Wi-Fi is kind of lacking over here in the area I'm at. So you played the Kevin Gates one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we definitely want to talk about this. I think it's really important because I think this will, definitely helps help talk about having a better communication within a relationship, knowing what to say, knowing what to do when you're in a relationship. Because you see a lot of men here, average men, they're not having success with women, not getting any sex. And some of these men are not looking for, marrying women, period, because, they don't know how to communicate, talk to a woman, communicate, and do what it needs to do, to be the best version of yourself. So I'm passing you guys. So what y'all think about this topic, and what y'all got about it?
Yes, communication is key. We talked about it all the time on this platform. And simple fact, as men, we don't really share our emotions, especially when it comes to our women. We tend to hold a lot of things in the inside. I think that's why right now is a rise on men's mental health, to the point that men are now committing suicide. That's why I say these type of topics, I think it should be had on every major platform, especially men's platform as well, because we was never taught the art of communication. We was taught how to get the bag, work hard, labor, get women, but we were never taught on how to communicate effectively when it comes to dealing with other people, and how to be decent human beings. So now, since we living now in the social age, when I mean the social age, I mean the age of social media, uh, men are tend to express themselves more and more online. And I think now it's not making it better, it's making it worse. And I think a lot of men today need to sit on somebody's couch. At first, I'd be like, I was very optimistic when it comes to therapy, but now today, especially, I think men need to sit down on these couches and start to talk to somebody and really know how to communicate. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like right now, I'm watching I was watching one of the content creators. He said that how there was a man literally married to a woman, but he was so upset at her, he ended up killing her 4 kids. Just keep that in mind. Go ahead, I can.
Daryl Long, before I get into my monologue, it says men enjoying life, me and my baby girl eating pizza and relaxing. It says I'm sharing this on my own channel, Facebook and Twitter, most definitely. Fellas, I'm even, to be honest with everybody on this panel, and I need to say this because I do got people who watch this that personally know me, and if I don't say this, I know I'm going to get some backlash behind this. I am a horrible communicator when it's in a relationship. There's many reasons why. I come from a Caribbean household where communication is not the main focal point about a lot of things. That's an American concept. You feel me? That I had to learn growing up, especially dealing with somebody from the opposite sex. It's different when you're dealing with men. You feel what I'm saying? So I say this to the point where even growing up, learning how to interact with women was a bit struggling. So when you're in a full-blown relationship, you have times to do this. I'm closed off at times with women. And a lot of men who listening to this can agree with this. If you didn't have a quite, regardless of what your upbringing is how you was taught to associate yourself with women, talk to women, and how to approach women. That is important, and that has to do with the father that's in the household to do that. My dad is from another country. Now, don't get me wrong. He's told me certain things and approach something, but himself is not a good communicator. You feel me? So you have a bad communicator teaching a person who's trying to communicate bad tactics on trying to communicate. So now he brings that into anything. I'm more of a very actionary person. So I always say that I hope my actions speak louder than my words, even though I'm not good when it comes to talking to women. You feel what I'm trying to say? And I think a lot of us go through that, and we assume that the women who we are with or the women in our life should just read our actions better than vocally. It doesn't work like that. women want to hear it. Women wants to hear it, and they want to hear it. And mind you, there's a reason they want to hear it. They need that as documentation to throw that in your face later on. Go ahead, brother.
I would say personally for me, being in a long-term relationship and marriage, I could just tell y'all this. When I first started, dating my wife, my girlfriend at the time, I was terrible as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that good. Being raised a single mom with a parent, not around man and a woman, communication with each other, that, definitely impacted me of growing up and everything. Their last between, and, basically because, it worked out, maybe something that didn't work out. Person for me, I didn't communicate well. I didn't show affection well. So for me, it's like, I'll just tell this, I'm kind of lucky. I'm still with my wife at the time because we was living in Miami. I just tell you, I was when she wanted to talk, I listened, but, at the same thing, I wasn't really hearing my wife at the time because, she was just nagging me, and that wasn't the case. So for me, once I kind of realized, that, I had that problem, even though my wife was telling me I had that problem, I really had to look, self-reflect with myself and say, hey, if my wife keeps saying this thing, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do, to fix the communication and everything? And, personally for me, once we moved here in LA, before we, got married, everything, me out. Because, you can talk to, once you with your partner and you can talk to that therapist, that therapist really can break down of what your problem is and how can you fix and address that situation. I feel like, men really, I agree with Ronnie, men really need to and really talk to a therapist, especially if you're growing up, in a single parent household and you have to communicate, not just for a woman, but communicate with other people. When you start communicating, to people in general, you can build a network. Not knowing that, you talk about, trying to learn how to communicate more. Actually, me and my wife, once I start, given the tools to learn how to communicate, what my therapist did, she just gave me little homeworks here and here, how to improve and everything. Just in a certain day, between 5 to 10 minutes, just talk to your wife and you communicate about certain things you like, certain things that you don't like, certain things you can't stand, some things, that makes me happy, sad, and, etc. And by doing those things, and me, I really did put in the work, once the therapist, gave me the tools to do, I definitely put in the work. And it took me, a couple of months, just to fix it. And also seeing the patterns that I had of what I'm trying to stop and everything. Because sometimes you really got to self-reflect and see what your patterns are, what you keep doing wrong. Because sometimes you might see it and you might not catch it at the time. So sometimes you really got to really deep in and really look at yourself and see what the patterns that you're doing wrong or to address it. And, we don't comes out. I really feel like could get it there. They get the tools of what they need. They can definitely see a big improvement in relationship of communication. Because, like I said, women they love to, like I say, your girlfriend or wife, they gonna talk. They definitely gonna talk to you. They gonna talk to you a lot. It could be something they like, it could be something you don't like. But the thing is, it's like, are you still listening? Are you not, closing her off? Even a conversation that you don't like, it's important to listen, not close off and everything. Because a lot of men, when they talk about someone they don't like, they just closed off or, you know, don't mind their business, all that type of stuff, you know, and it hurts your, you know, your significant other. It really do. But yeah, I really, like, once I got that help, you know, it was like a 180. My wife saw that difference of me communicating and everything. And also, when you communicate more, it shows your dominance as well as a man once you communicate. It really do. You know, I don't think men knows like that. When you start communicating more, a woman like to see that. They see that you know, he's more dominant. I can feel it. I'm hearing him, and also kind of telling what you need and what you want to do and everything. And I'm glad, you know, we're talking about, you know, this topic because, you know, like I said, I had this problem. I really did. And I got the help, and I did the homework, and, you know, I stopped. I saw the stuff I was repeating, and, you know, and I fixed it. It was a quick fixer upper. You know? So you might fail, but just like I say, you might mess. It's okay to mess up. As long as you keep pushing and doing the homework and trying to be the best version of yourself, like I said, you know, you learn something every day. Keep improving. You know, keep doing the homework. You know, you definitely gonna see a turnaround. You definitely gonna, you know, be a better communicator. And once you be a better communicator, you're gonna be that man that you want to be, and also that woman will see that, hey, this is a man that I want. This is maybe I want to marry. This is a man I need to make. I want his. And the thing is, I want his kids. I just want kids. I want his kid because he's communicating with me. His you know, his dominance, being leader in the family. So yeah, man, stuff like that, just getting help, that definitely helped me out. And, you know, now, you know, my marriage, you know, is really good because I did my homework, and, you know, and it shows in my marriage, and, you know, and it's definitely gonna work on the long run. Go ahead, fellas. I'm done.
No, brother, that was really impactful what you said, and you spoke from a place that a lot of us can't speak from. And I'm speaking from a place from people who has been serial dating and stuff like that. And this is probably kind of the reason why a lot of people can't be able to lock down with certain women because of the communication issue. And here's the thing, though. Speaking, I'm not going to speak for everybody. I do think sometimes a lot of us who are not good communicators, we might want to say something, but scared to say it because we're scared of the outcome that might come behind it. And we're just like, hey, we just won't say nothing at all and hope that the thing just fizzles out on its own. And that's not a good way to do it. So coming back to what you and Ronnie said, just to solidify, therapy is important. But therapy is important to help you to realize, even if you're making the right investment in the right person that you're with as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you might not want to communicate, and you can see that this is not going well, but don't know how to say it. And we have a lot of people who are like that. They'll just ride until the ship sinks. And we're like, and could have got off before that, or they could have fixed the situation. And that's the thing about it, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point, Hakeem, because, you know, if you're in a relationship you don't like, you don't communicate, you know, it sucks for you, because if you're in a relationship you don't know, you're not communicating, you know, you're not, you know, breaking enough for yourself and for her and trying to find somebody else. You know, it just shows you that, hey, you know, a lot of men don't see that, you know, they have a problem communicating when they try to break it off. You know, not, you know, because, you know, she might feel some type of way. And the thing is, you gotta let that woman feel that way. She gotta be her in her emotion, because she can see we communicate with her that's something that you don't like, you want to break it off. You know, she can know it's like, hey, you know, what did I do wrong? You know, or what's something that you didn't like about me? So when you tell that woman, when she go into the next relationship, hopefully she can address it and she won't bring that back to a new relationship.
Yeah, that was very important for mental health. Mental health is very important. So, well, a lot of people that are not focused on mental health, that's why I say communication is really key. That's why I enjoy therapy, because of the simple fact therapy teaches you on how to communicate. That was at first I was very against therapy, but then now I understand the art of it because some of us don't know how to communicate effectively. Three out of six men, especially when it comes to black men, are afraid to communicate to their woman or afraid to communicate to their family members. So it's just all that plays a big part because remember when you're not communicating to stuff on something that's going wrong, it builds the stress level and also it can actually damage your health. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. I think really, man, hopefully, people that share this, they can really, see how you can really help improve your communication and improve and like I said, when you improve your communication, it helps you, mentally, especially emotionally, because when you speak, you feel it's like you're relieving something in a way. You're relieving all the stuff that you have in your that you have in your head. What's going on? It's definitely important for men to really, really speak out, not to be afraid of what you're trying to say. If you need to, you can write it down first. If you need to write it down, so write it down and speak it out loud. If you need to, it's very, very important because it's not speaking out. It kind of affects your mental health in a way. It causes you to stress out because you're not speaking what you're feeling, and it's very important for men to start speaking what they're feeling, so they can get that wherever they have on their shoulders out, and learn for what they, and also learn of for their mistakes, and then also be the best version of themselves.
Brothers, there's another thing. Oh my God, is the beautiful.
I see the eyes. When she poked the eyes out, the eyes, she be peeking.
Listen, Sugar Plum, we coming to DuPont Circle about you. We coming to the Northeast, the Northwest about you. Bowie. So what I wanted to say to another thing as well, Urban Noise mentioned something in the chat that I think that a lot of us don't want to admit. We have a lot of people who are non-vocal, and their communication are in other ways. And we have to try to understand and to convert these people into being a vocal person, because a lot of people ain't mind readers. You feel me? And some people are not aware enough to see signs and stuff like that. And just like, I watch a lot of content and I see that there's certain ways you can communicate to certain people who are non-vocal, and those ways are not good. So communication is always this. He said women are just better communication. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Women
Hell yeah. Better. Hell yeah.
We're not 1,000. Yeah.
Definitely
agree on that.
We all agree with you on that, Sugar Bum. And we know men are not communicators. That's why we're making this video. The thing that I want to say is, a lot of times men communicate with their actions. You feel me? And understanding that this Elway has nothing to do with women being better communicated, because sometimes they can be nasty. That is true now. A woman's words can
But strike. I'm not gonna lie about them. The thing about them being nasty is actually kind of good, because of some of the fact they are able to express their emotion. I think men should do the same. Because they always say men should have emotional control, but the same man that they try to say have emotional control are the same man that's doing a lot of violence on women. Go ahead.
I agree with you, but here's the thing. Let me tell you another reason why it's hard for men to communicate as well, and I'm just giving an opinion. This is not factual. There's not a lot of safe spaces for men to talk openly without being criticized or not being deemed masculine enough due to him wanting to express whatever downfall he's going through or whatever version of his life that he wants to. I always tell people, men cry to niggas, not women. Even Kevin Samuel has a clip say, don't be opening up to no women her sex drive will go down for you.
Open up to you. He said, open up to your mom. Nobody else but your mom.
But your mama. Your mama's the only one who's going to, because your mother has an invested interest in you. She's not going to leave you. That's your mama. A woman could be like, can I depend on him if Bear's coming? But another thing that I want to understand is too, is like material items are communicated through some people. You know what I mean? And I think that society has gotten men to try to communicate in other ways, which is detrimental. You're just now seeing the rise of men speaking vocally. But other than that, we used to communicate with our money, communicate with our actions, you know what I mean? Which was all a set of downfall to us. They called us tricks, simps, paymasters, you know what I mean? You name it, we was there.
But then you just pretty much say what I just stated. You just say right now there's a rise of men communicating openly. That's what I'm saying, because you cannot. Yeah, for example, let's say if you deal with a woman, she's a nasty individual, and you're a guy like, okay, baby, I don't want you doing that anymore. You being nasty. No, if she calling me a whole ass nigga, I'm gonna call you a bitch ass female. So that's what I'm saying. And now that with Andrew, prime example, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is a great prime example. Andrew Tate was a perfect example. He was a very guy that's very shallow, very quiet. When he went to red pill type content, everybody like, oh wow, I didn't know you could talk to women that way. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, because if a woman disrespecting you and you right here, well, I'm gonna just walk away. No, I'm gonna disrespect you back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's how things go. Go ahead.
And the problem is, Ronnie, is a lot of men lacks a lack of assertiveness. Making sure their point of view is clear and it's direct. And women like a man that's assertive. Once you make your point of view clear and it's direct, you don't have to repeat it more than once. Because if you're assertive and you mean what you say and you stand on your ground, you never get it because you said what you said and that's it. And you don't have to repeat yourself. And it should be clear of not, you don't got to repeat yourself, because when a woman sees that a man's assertive and he's clear and he's not budging, he's solid as a rock, she knows he's in trouble because he's not going to move. He's not going to move. He's not going to move.
Anywhere. I used to believe that logic. A man should not repeat himself multiple times. He only need to repeat himself once. But then when I used to watch Kevin Samuel clips on God Rest His Soul, he will always tell women over and over and over again, unmute yourself, unmute yourself, unmute yourself, unmute yourself. So I'm saying, when you're dealing with a woman, you're actually dealing with a child. Sometimes you have to repeat yourself because sometimes it don't register in the brain. But go ahead, King. Go ahead.
There's 2 points up on this. Cesar Ali say the actual mind of a woman having grown past 14 years old. So you got to deal with him like a child, just to piggyback on that. But I also want to piggyback on what you just said, Jordan, with a Sugar Plum comment. She said women do like men that are assertive. Only if the man, but on this point, men loses the ability with logic when emotions are involved. That's important right there. That Sugar Plum came out of left field with that, which piggybacks off of what you just said of the assertiveness. Assertiveness can't have emotion put into it, and the communication is off, because now you're speaking from a place of hurt, trauma, whatever you want to do. Urban Noise came with another one, say a soft word turns away a wrath, but a harsh one stirs up anger. Black people amongst each other are the worst communicators. In a relationship, out of relationship, in business, out of business, as a customer, as an owner, as a husband, as a wife at times. And this is where we need to reset everything as a whole to try to understand people and understand there's boundaries when it comes to talking to people and try to interact and understand that. We are still ever growing as people. So going back to what Ronnie said, therapy is the key, intervention. And to be honest with you, I think we used to need to have this, something I've seen in Massachusetts that I haven't seen here. There has to be fellowship. Where a group of women, get with a good group of women. They cook food, they eat, they talk, and they try to talk about their problems and how to correct them. And group of men come together, fish and hunt, and have fellowship, pray, love on one another, and there be to express and say, hey, brother, you sure you talking to your wife the right way? You sure you talk? And it can't just be, it has to have a fellowship. There's no such thing as fellowship now, because most men who are in marriages or who are in relationships are lone wolves because they separate themselves from their family. Tell me if I'm wrong now.
No, you make a
No,
point.
you make it true. You make a good point. Yes.
So when you separate yourself from the pack or the community, there's nobody to check you on what you're doing wrong, which is different from the Muslim community, which is different from the Hispanic community, which is different from the Korean community. Because if something goes on, the uncle, the cousin, the granddaddy, the other brother on the other side, they all come together. Johnny boy, you're not doing good. My wife just came and told me what you doing at the house. Slow that shit up.
Hey, Hakeem, you make a valid point on that because in my marriage, like I said, you know, even though I live in LA, my family, they watching me, making sure my wife is okay, make sure I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They are all, it's like they on my, it's like I'm all the way in LA, but the thing is, I feel like they still on my ass.
Yeah.
I feel it. You know, if I post something wrong on Instagram or Facebook, if I post something wrong, which I rarely do, or if I talk to somebody, they can hear my voice, or if my wife talks to my mom or my grandmother, and if she hears something, the voice is wrong, it's like, what's wrong? You know, my mom and my grandmother, if they hear something crunkling in my voice or her voice, she gonna know something's wrong. And they're gonna say, hey, what's going wrong? You want to talk about it? And you know, let's address it. Let's see what's up. Let's see if we can fix it.
Who is being held accountable? Who's holding men accountable when they're not connected to the community?
The women's are. The women's are holding them accountable.
The women are holding them accountable, but is that even enough for them to straighten up their ways? And just to understand it, most people who are seeing, the way I'm seeing relationships are built, their family's not even involved anymore. So nobody's checking them. Everybody's just winging it as they come. They're not seeing a template or what's going on, even as far as the communication is concerned. Because here's the funny thing is, I watch a lot of African shows. And there's one particular show on YouTube, I'll come with the name, where there's an issue, and I always say this, now it's a court show, the court person asks, did y'all have a family intervention? They say, yes, the father, the uncles on both sides came over to the husband's house to talk to him about beating on her. They removed him from the house and continue paying the school fees until they resolve his matter. And then they have an intervention amongst them with the women of the family. Now he has to come and apologize to the women of the family and the men. We don't do that here in America. If a nigga pay bills here, he gets to do everything he wants. Slap her ass up and say, fuck you and your mama. What they gonna do about it? That's not a good communicator. Most of you women are marrying men or with men who have no masculine basis to stand on. And if the man was in the house, was he domineering enough to lead and guide you to know how to steer a ship or know how to manage a family? Communication is an essential part to manage a family and manage relationships amongst people who are rich, from the opposite sex to the same sex. So this is important. Going back to what you say, therapy is key, but fellowship is even key too, because therapy only goes but so far. They can give you the tools, the basics, but fellowship would know you how to apply it in application. Go ahead, my brother.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bringing the point is of how, you know, in our Black community, we are the worst communicators, which I totally agree. I think, you know, the level of respect, the level of respect that we have with each other, we don't, I don't think we know what that is. And the thing is, I'm telling you like this, like me and my wife, we have rules and boundaries that we set of how we communicate. And if we get angry, we don't use, you know, cuss words, and we don't raise our voices. You know, we try to communicate, you know, as level headed as we possible. If we get upset at anything, we might go to the other room and try to cool off. And then when we try to cool off, we go ahead and try to communicate again. That was a tool that our therapist gave us. Like if it escalates too far, if you're gonna do that, you know, if you feel like something you're gonna say that you're not gonna say, walk away or go for a walk for a little bit, clear your mind, breathe a little bit, and then once you're calm down, that's when you go back. You know, you think more. It's like once you get mad, you get more emotional. Step back, calm down, and then make sure your logic comes back again. Once your logic, you know, you get logical. That's when you can, you know, express how you feel and everything. All right, go ahead, Ronnie.
No, it's true. That was a man is supposed to be logical, but I think everything at the end of the day, you need some form of balance. So I would say if someone's treating you, mistreating you, especially in a relationship, I tend to find out when every time I would date a woman, I would always be the main communicator. I would communicate everything, where I'm going, always doing the main one, doing the checkup on, doing all those necessary steps. But then when I realized at some point, I'm like, okay, you could be that type of person, which is good, but also you got to be the person to also pull back and let the person communicate and over communicate to you. Because some people need to be taught how to communicate. Women are really, that's one thing, that's why I don't bash women on everything, but that's one thing I do agree when it comes to women. Women are very good when it comes to expressing their emotion. Rather is very sporadic. Sometimes be calm, sometimes be hyped, sometimes be anger. They just do it, and at the end of the day, you see a woman just come back to normal. Men, when we get upset, they were like, "Oh, go walk outside, walk away." But then when the man comes back, the man can't sleep at night. It's eating him up at night. He's having nightmares about it. He's talking to his homeboys about it because they're like, "Oh, we was always taught, no, a man should just let it go or just." And I'm like, no, I don't think that's the key. And I think that's why the rise of women being assaulted, men are losing their job, mental health has increased because the simple fact is we're not communicating how we're supposed to be communicating. And I would say I love topics when it comes to communication because that's one of the issues I used to have. But what taught me about communication, I'm being honest with you, me working at the workforce. Because the workforce, anything that goes wrong, you have to communicate. You have to send emails. You have to make sure you do a follow-up, and you got to know how to talk to people the right way. Now, don't get me wrong, I have worked at places where there's jobs that someone be in your face, hey, make sure you do that right. If you don't do that right, I find out to be an issue. That does happen. I'm not going to lie, it does happen. But at the same time, like, hey, you want to get loud, you get loud with you too. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to be the one to walk away. That's not happening. Go ahead, Akim.
I want to ask Jordan a question because this pertaining to what this said that Urban Noise said. They may be true, but isn't good. No one should deal with a sporadic emotion from any woman in the household. Jordan, in your therapy sessions, did your therapist talk to your wife on how she should be able to communicate with you and to control her emotions when dealing with you?
Absolutely. It's a two-way street. It's not just me. It's a two-way street.
Because in the sense, most people know men are not sporadic with their emotions. We're very even keeled in the same at the day unless something is too stressful. So the point that we're getting here, and I want to say something that people not mind, like we shouldn't have to go to our homeboys and cry. Your woman should be your first responder.
No, I agree. That I always agree. I never disagree with that. Yes. You shouldn't have to go to your homeboy and cry.
You shouldn't have to go to your homeboy. But your woman has to be able to understand to create a safe space for you to come there so you can be able to be transparent and to be able to be open enough without him feeling that there's any backlash or you having a perceived notion about him. Because our biggest kryptonite is what the people who we love the most think about us. Not the niggas out on the street, not the ops, our wife, our kids, our daddy, our mama, and our uncle. We do not care
That's
about
a Dr. Michael right there, Hakeem. That's facts right there.
No, prime example. But this is my thing, Hakeem. That, for example, a woman could come to you and tell you right now, Hakeem, you're doing too much time spending on the podcast. You don't spend enough time with me. She's communicating you effectively. A man won't do it. A man be like, the same way a woman is busy at work all the time. A man won't come to a woman like, hey, baby, you spending no time at work. He will wait till you have a marriage issue to go to therapy to tell the woman, you know what? I feel like you spend too much time at work.
He just called it.
I would say that's something women are good at. Go ahead.
You just called it. We never complain, even when it's an issue. We shut up about it, and we shouldn't have to. But another big issue is we don't want stuff to be thrown in our face later on. And this is another reason why there's marriages that crumbles after there's a situation, even trying to work it out. Women tend to want to bring it up later on to weaponize it. You know what I mean? When you start to weaponize conversations and issues that are in a relationship, it starts to degrade and decay what the foundation is based on. That also is a no-no in communication. And you have to forgive. You have to forgive and you have to forget, but you can't weaponize. It's the same thing as your woman do something bad and she asks for forgiveness. You can't weaponize it. You know what I mean? Or base that on everything.
Okay, you hit about, that's the first thing we do is something wrong. It's like that number one option is weaponizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem in our Black community. We're so used to seeing what's going on, in our families, we'll be seeing in our neighborhood, that the first thing we do is we weaponize it before we, find a way to address it first. That's why, we don't see other races doing that. They learn how to address it. We just weaponize it and make it worse.
But they're not. Even though they're not talking about it, they are doing it. I used to talk to a Muslim woman. She said she used to get hit by her husband. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing it. They're doing it. It's just not being reported. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll just say this, but they know how to keep it quiet and keep it in house. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is too, they know how to handle situations better than we know how to handle it. Our situation handling is very public and disgusting and messy. You feel me? This what comes back to say that another thing that our biggest issue too. Let's say you're communicating with your mate and it's not going nowhere. You can't be scared to go seek help. Going back to therapy. Let's say the money's not involved. Why can't you try to find a community to be a part of? Black people are so scared to assimilate themselves into a community. We want to be separate from anybody, even if we're a part of an ecosystem. We have to look at other people to see how they're communicating and how they're able to handle their situations. There's nothing wrong with seeing, and I know a lot of people don't understand. Yes, we have different nuances about us. We're Black. I might be Haitian. You might be Dominican. You might eat arroz con pollo. You might eat jollof rice. Or you might eat collard greens. But relationships are all the same way to go. And the problems are all the same, just different languages. There are always things you can pick up from different people to apply an application. This is where we have the issue. I sometimes mention Cuban people in conversations because I'm around these people all the time. I sometimes mention Dominicans. You can't choice. You sometimes mention Mexicans because, Jordan, you're in a place full of Mexicans. You feel me? You cannot help to see the way they interact with their women and the way the communication is done. Maybe let me see if that might work with my wife and see if that's an application. Or could you be a part of a community that's very diverse where you can learn different things? Not only, or find other communities that's similar, but people that are doing it better than you. Because that's what it's all about. We always want to hear people's opinions, but never want to see the solutions that are being done. A lot of people on YouTube give opinions, but I don't see solution-based situations. Let me see two couples who came from a worse situation and focus. This is why when we did a clip a couple months ago about them two old couples, you remember that? Where the guy said he came home and he said God gave him a calling. First thing he did, which I thought was fantastic, he came to his wife first. I said that had to be growth. And said, hey, baby, God told me I need to leave my job and become a pastor. She said, Lord Jesus. She said, you need to go back to God and ask him again. There was pushback. Your woman is always going to push back, but she still was able to approach the situation and follow. Understanding. Go right ahead, brothers.
No, prime example. I was watching a podcast earlier this morning, and I actually joined in another podcast. We were talking about it. It was a woman. She got into a DV, which is domestic violence situation, where the guy she was talking to or used to date went to Walmart, and another guy was trying to approach her or looking at her, and she smiled at him. The guy got upset and smacked her in the face. See, as a man, why can't he just say, you know what, instead of smacking her in the face, because some men do it, some cowards do it, instead of smacking her in the face, say, hey, you know what, baby, I'm not going to lie, I was jealous. I ain't like the way the guy was looking at you. Because that's how I used to look at you. We're not doing that. You get what I'm saying? Because we always thought, that was guys that hitting women because we always thought, you know what, let me just keep it to myself and let me just walk it all. Let me talk to my homeboy about it. Men are starting to snap more than ever before. Men are starting to snap. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to communication, I think men need to start expressing themselves the way he feel at that moment. I don't think men should be waiting for the last minute when we get to that point when everything starts boiling up, then things start going left. Because it's keep happening, it keep happening, it's keep happening. Go ahead, Jordan.
And the thing is about man, we're not in a serve circle. It's either we're in an aggressive circle or we're being in a passive circle. Not being passive, being too scared of what we thinking, or being aggressive side, you know, just going out and weaponize what we do and use our physical strength to do what you do. You know, I think that's especially in our black community. Especially in our black community, I think we're a lot more aggressive with a little bit more passive, but we don't see that thin line of there's passive, there's aggressive, and then there's a middle that's being assertive. I don't think we have a lot of assertive in our black community.
I want to touch on this. What the comments are saying. Ronnie spoke about a group of men who haven't been given the foundations of communication, and the only communication they know is from a physical sense. That's a sector of men that needs help. And mind you, I'm big on forget those men, lock them up in jail. We need to worry about the children, because the children are still young enough to differentiate right and wrong, and we can check them. If men are willing to want to change, they need to be able to want to give up that behavior and come into the point. Now, there are men who are not violent, who are not this. They just don't know how to verbally speak their emotions and their feelings. A lot of us don't. A lot of us still have problems.
But I like Sugar Bun, what she's saying. She's like, urban noise tripping. They're playing a man from that's doing well family be hitting on women. Statistics been showing it, and there's been a rise on them hitting on women because of the simple fact of the communication piece. I think men need to start more. I think men need to start expressing themselves more and more. Now, there is guys like I do agree with Urban. There is a small group of men that don't hit women. They know how to communicate effectively. But at the same time, they say at the same time they see somebody that's literally trying to trigger them, they're gonna snap.
And it usually starts like when a man is like young in their 20s, you know, they really don't know themselves, you know, they really don't know how to communicate. So, but instead of communicate, they use physical. They be physical, you know, they don't know how to talk. They just be physical, and they need to learn how to use your mouth, how to talk to a woman, how to be clear, how to make eye contact, and to stay firm what you're saying. If it don't work out, you can walk away. Is this gonna happen? If not, we're done. That's it. You don't need to use no type of physical abuse. Just stay what you're staying. If it don't work, get out of there. That's all you got to do. You got a life to live. There's plenty of women out there. You don't have to be in a relationship that you're not happy with. Leave. Stay what you're saying. Make it clear. Make eye contact. If it doesn't work out, if you don't change, just leave.
They're going rapid fire in the comments.
Because this topic right here, it happens often, especially when it comes to the Black community, and it's stuff that's not being talked about. Of course, this is a serious topic. That's why I'm not smiling too much, because it's serious. I tell you, communicating, because when I see a lot of women, and when I see a lot of men, they are snapping on a daily basis. Men are killing their children. Wives are killing their children. Wives are killing their husband. And then you see Black men say, you know what? I'm starting to delete Black women. So it's like a lot of stuff are happening nowadays because the communication is missing. We're not communicating, like Jordan said, we're not communicating effectively. We're not going to therapy. We think we got everything all together. We're going to YouTube. We're especially, I can promise, I can show you the video. Literally, the woman had a black eye and she went on the live stream. In my mind, I'm like, I lost somebody who I knew, even you knew, and the twins know, and Kenny know, over DV, over domestic violence. Because it's simple fact of the art of communication. Nobody's communicating. The women are doing a good job. I say the women are. They say, hey, even though she's been a nasty bee, but at least she's communicating. But as the man, we just holding it in. You know what? I'm gonna walk away. And then one day you driving and then you end up shooting the girl in the head. Because that happened to one of my family members. You get what I'm saying? This is a serious topic, and that's why I think Sugar Bomb and Erman going at it, because she probably knows somebody that was related. His probably knows somebody related. And not only that, but we know somebody recently, Hakeem, I even show you the screenshot. That went to jail because of a DV. Jordan, and he's a nice kid.
Come from a
really
good
into trouble.
Listen, come from a good home.
Come from a good home, two-parent home.
Two-parent home, very good home. I was shocked. And
I saw him to Hakeem yesterday. Hakeem was like, what?
Stuff like that be happening now.
I was shocked.
What happens?
Yeah.
I was shocked.
And I'll say I love the fact, Jordan, how he have a boundary with his wife. And I think people need to play back the video and listen to what he's saying. That's why I ain't saying nothing. Listen to what he's saying. He's giving out gems.
No. The monologue was on point. That's why you got to rewind and listen to what Jordan said in his monologue. There's points on there you can dissect and apply it to your everyday situation. You know what I mean? And the thing here, we always recommend you to go see therapy. We're not licensed therapists. We always try to put you in a situation where we want you to win. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. They're going in on these comments, boy.
I know. I see. It's like rapid fire. Because I'm telling you, it's a serious thing, and then you hear it. And I'm not gonna say only men being abusive. Women are being abusive too.
Yeah.
Your words are triggering the men. It's triggering the men. It literally is. Because you say you're a bum ass nigga. You listen to all these lyrics from Cardi B and City Girls. You're not gonna talk. I was saying there's some men you can talk to that way. You ain't gonna talk to me that way. I'm just being real.
You can push some people over to the edge, baby.
Yeah,
you can.
Like, because that one response, like I said, it could be dangerous. It could be rapid fire. It could just be toxic. They don't pop. And men, they feel that venom, that toxin, and when they feel that toxic, they're gonna react to that toxin and venom they're spurring out.
Urban Noise asks a question. Since we're generalizing, has any one of you beat a woman since we're generalized? Nope.
No. I was always taught not to. That's what I was taught.
It was a
not to walk away.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, go ahead, Jordan. You about to go ahead. Go ahead.
It is a fear. Other than doing martial arts with women, other than that. But at the time, it is a fear. If I hit somebody that's close to me, my mom will fly from Michigan to LA and just get off.
My mother and my sister would disown me. I'll be banned from the family.
No, my dad would probably hit me. I would never taught that. But don't get me wrong, was I in the verge to? Yeah, because my emotion was so uproar. So sometimes you do get to that point like that. Like
Yeah.
Like sometimes you be like, I want to choke. You get me? I'm being honest. Like sometimes a guy do have that moment. I had that moment. Like sometimes you just want to choke. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to express this to you, but you're not getting it or you're not understanding. So then I learned like, hey, you can't do that. But I realized that your words are more powerful than your fists. Literally, your words. The way you talk to a person can affect them really hard than putting your hands on them. Real talk.
I want to ask: Is Sugar Bum, are you comfortable getting on here and speaking your thoughts for the last 5 minutes of the show?
Boy, she going there rapid fire. She like
rapid fire.
Like her hands are, like I'm thinking she's an avatar because the way she typing, those are fast typing.
I'm just saying the way she typing, she seems listen, she seems like she's the opposition for Urban Noise.
She is.
Yeah, they
she typing, you can't keep up. She typing.
Yeah.
Then focus like what we talking about. Play back the video and watch the live replay. You'll see what we talk about.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, you know what's effective if a man gets mad? Do some push-ups. If you get mad and angry, get down, do 10 to 15, 20 push-ups. After that, you're releasing. And I'm serious, it works. If you get mad and upset about a woman, you drop down, do push-ups. You kind of releasing that anger and in a way. After that, you feel a little better.
The jab is a good way. Hey, Kitty, like, I'm staying out of it. Kitty just doing emoji. He like, yo, I'm staying out of that battle. That's between them two. He like, boy, she like, Kitty staying out of it. He like, because yeah, she. I was saying it's crazy.
Listen, Sugar Plum, if you ready to get on here, we'll go overtime. I'll drop the link. It seems like that. It seems like.
And you don't have to show yourself. You do not have to show yourself.
You do not have to show yourself. Because it seems like
Kenny like this.
Yeah, he's just speaking quiet.
Listen, I dropped the link.
He just dropped the link.
I dropped the link, Sugar Plum.
Like Kitty said, it's not his battle. Kitty said, it's not my battle.
It's not my battle.
Listen, what does this word mean? Contrarian? What does that mean?
Contrarian. I don't know. You guys are twins. I don't know. Let me go and
see.
What does contrarian mean?
Let me see. I'm gonna type it in.
Here's the definition of contrarian: a person who opposes or rejects popular opinion, especially in stock exchange dealing.
Okay.
Sounds like you're the opposition, Sugar Plum. I dropped the link, Sugar Plum. I dropped the link. Get on there and speak your mind.
That was saying it's a serious topic when it comes to art of communication. I would say I think men need to do a better job. Women need to do a better job too. I would say there's women that say, "Oh, you're a bum ass nigga." I remember I used to get in arguments with. That's why I think that's why it's not good for men to argue with women. No. Because when you argue with women can turn it all the way up. You're gonna lose the battle because they're gonna turn it all the way up. And the way you lose the battle, you're gonna end up putting your hands on them, or you're gonna end up going to jail. That's how you lose the battle. Or you're gonna say something that's gonna destroy your family and destroy your future. So you might as well just don't argue with women. Just say, okay, whatever, and just go about your business. So if people want to know, that's my final thought. My final thought is just really seek help, get the help you need. To me, I think it's very, very important for that therapy, man. At first I used to be against it. I was like, oh, they always talking about therapy. But then when I see the numbers are rising with domestic violence, men are deleting themselves on a higher rate. Men are now becoming more and more homeless because of the mental illness. It's just, that's all I can say, man, on that, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I definitely agree 100% with Ronnie. Definitely get the therapy. Man, if you feel like you have anger issues or not communicate, there's just type in Google or type in YouTube of learn the steps and learn steps of how communicate. Just give you the tools so you can just be the best version of yourself. Just a simple tap or get a book or anything. So learn, like I said, you gotta learn a way how to improve yourself. Which another thing is communication. Once you improve that and be that, you can control yourself. You can control your anger. You can know what to say with a woman. You can know not to say it to a woman. It's really, really important to do that. That's my final thoughts on that.
Okay. My final thoughts is just piggybacking on what they say, therapy and find a community to be a part of. I want to play as we end the show, I want to play Corinne Stevie's new single. She just dropped a new song called Dramatic. We love local artists, submit your music, but it can't have content ID because we'll get a copyright strike. And the nigga need to eat. All right. Sugar Plum, that link there, baby. If you're not scared, show your face. Come speak your mind.
I think she done for today. I don't see her attack. I think she.
Every time we tried to unmask her, she runs. She runs back. She runs
She's
back.
gone.
She runs back to Germantown.
Yeah, and not only that, but I want to make sure this is disclosure. So, of course, this podcast was not to trigger anybody because there's some people that is facing DB or any form of toxicity in your relationship. But the whole point is, at the end of the day, is to seek help, get the help you need. Call hotlines if you're afraid. Reach out to family members. Talk to somebody because I think that's the best way that you can live on. And I'm being honest, Hakeem and Jordan, I think that's one of the reasons why Black men are dying very young, because people always say, "Oh, they dying from health issue." One of the health issues, I think our major disease is not communicating. I think that's our number one disease. We're not communicating. We're not going to seek the help we actually need.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that disclosure because I know people gonna probably watch the playback and be like, "Oh," because some people might get triggered. So I just wanted that to be known. Go ahead, Hunter.
Definitely. Corinne Stevie, new single Dramatic. Y'all go stream it on all platforms. Let's get it.
Stevie. Shit looking real dramatic out here.
Dramatic, man. It's crazy.
This is so dramatic. I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic. Gotta stack up my coins, it's automatic. It's automatic. I gotta have it. This is so dramatic. I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic.
Yeah.
Gotta stack up my coins, it's automatic. It's automatic. I gotta have it. Versace the eyes, Ricky the feet, Balenci the fit. My style is unique. How about the Porsche? When I'm touching the street, chillin' the Beamer, I lean in the seats. I'm rolling with sis, and we rolling deep. Call me Adele, I'm good when I fail. This is show and tell. I'm coming out my shell. Show talk, big sales, 5-star hotels. Walk out the hotel, go on a boat sail. Hop on my coattail, daddy taught me well. Too legit, we never quit. And Haiti we rich, we hood rich. Too legit, we never quit. And Haiti we rich, and we never snitch. This is so dramatic, I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic. Gotta stack up my coins, it's automatic. It's automatic, I gotta have it. This is so dramatic, I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic. Gotta stack up my coins,
dedicating that
it's
to
automatic. It's automatic,
She's so
I gotta
dramatic.
have it. Material things, I'm a material girl. Watch it go bang, give it a twirl. Cash in the check, don't need a referral. in my sweatshirt like my name was Earl. I'm a creator, but I'm not Tyler. Spit through the pain like it's through the wire. My skill is different. I'm a technician. When I come through, I got a mission. Why they tripping? Me, I'm dripping. Shout out to Takeoff when I take off missing. Huh. The clock is ticking. Told y'all, this is hitting. Stevie 3.0, this that new edition. Skin, Bobby Brown, new edition. Hindsight, premonition, new inventions. This is futuristic, this is so dramatic. I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic. Gotta stack up my coins, it's automatic. It's automatic, you know I gotta have it. This is so dramatic, I'm acting so dramatic. When I pull up with my fam, it's so dramatic. Gotta stack up my coins, it's automatic. It's automatic, you know I gotta have it.
Whoa.
Whoa, fire. Y'all make sure y'all go screen that. Shout out to Stevie, man. She's doing big things, man. That's what I'm talking about. You know how we get down, man, each and every week. Remember, on your way out, make sure you hit that like button. On your way out, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that. So on your way out, make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember, we go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also, guys, make sure, go to the community tab. In the community tab, the KI Culture Radio t-shirt, and Prince Hakeem new book, Black Love. See you guys again. We over and out.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace.